This video is about how you can overcome emotional baggage from your childhood. My name is Patricia and I help people to raise their awareness. If you like my channel, please make sure to subscribe. Hello, now this video is about how you can overcome your childhood emotional baggage. And this one is especially for you if you follow some patterns which you're doing over and over again. Maybe, and that's most common, you don't even realize. So how can you actually notice? It's actually as soon as you repeat stories. Let's say you have always the same kind of partner, the same kind of job, the same kind of whatever. You just keep repeating the story. And I'd like to actually start with one of my own stories, which I found so interesting because when I was a child, and I believe they do still the same in school. So, but I want to share this with you because I feel like that's where everything starts. And it's then when we realize that our feelings are not worth to be felt, or we are not allowed to actually express how we feel. And that's when you start to create emotional baggage, which comes from the childhood. It comes how we got raised, it comes from parenting, it comes from the teachers, just whoever surrounded us. And when I was in kindergarten, I saw two girls play. And at one point, one girl was just really hitting the other girl. And immediately the teacher came. And so she was standing like this, and then watching down on the child from up here, going down. And it was so interesting when I think back, because what she did was she just told the child, she didn't really ask what's going on. She was rather just saying, just say sorry. Say sorry, and with that, basically everything is okay, right? I mean, you know. And I find that so crazy, because you don't even give the space to the child to actually say what's going on in here. What you're trying to do is just say sorry because it's some kind of norm. It's a norm that you don't do this, don't do that, because we just simply don't do it. And at one point, that's okay, because hurting someone else should never be rewarded. On the other hand, it's also like the question why this child actually hit the girl. You know, what was the reason behind it? Why was it like that? Why did she do it? Why did she feel that she needs to hurt her instead of talking, instead of expressing herself? Well, most probably because she didn't get the platform to do so. Because the platform to actually talk and to say how she felt, or what the girl did to her, why she felt insecure, got angry, and then actually hit her, to express, to finally bring that emotion out, the feeling. So that's one story. The second story is from a teacher of mine. I actually quite liked when I look back. He was very, very strong, but very intelligent man. He was quite old. I think he got even retired after our class. And he was one of the sweetest guys there, actually, even though he was super old school. Oh my god, it's very, very old school. He had a very tough system, and if you don't follow, whew, not good. But when he told me after the suicide of my mom, so that was when I was 16, so totally teenager time, and he came to me and he said, you know, I completely have no idea how to react to this. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't even know what helps you, what I can say, because I feel that everything I say is just not really making it better. But in case you feel like you need to talk to someone, please feel free to come. Feel free to come and talk. And I found that so honest, you know, because a child can feel right away what's going on. If you tell a child, don't feel that way, this is not how you should feel like this or that, that's very, very rude, because you tell a child that the feelings this little girl or little boy has isn't real. You're telling the child that who she is or he is not enough, which just makes it even worse. Instead, just go down on the same layer, on the same, make eye contact on the same height, and then start to talk and ask, open the door and ask what is going on, instead of this is not how it should be. You should react like this. So now back to our main focus for today. With this said, is that in our adult's life, we are not used to talk about our emotions, expressing ourselves, and that means that we have a lot of baggage from our childhood, because the parents didn't know how to raise us. Maybe there was some emotional thing missing, maybe there was some other stuff missing, whatever it was. But the true fact is that if in your childhood, if you felt like this, like unworthy, not enough, not being able to express yourself on a proper way, these are all things that you're still holding on in the current now. And that means that you follow some patterns, even if you don't know, or if you don't want to know, you do that. And until you are aware that you are doing it, you cannot change it. So to overcome a childhood experience, a kind of baggage, let's say, without going into judgmental state of the parents didn't do this, the teacher didn't do that, and I would have needed this and that. Try to act a bit from a further distant point, because as we already know, the past we cannot change. So what we are trying to do now is, how can we change the now, and going into the future looking, how can we change our patterns? How can we change that feeling we used to have? How can we overcome that? And you can only overcome if you look straight into that without judgment. If this person did this or that, it's only based on what happened. Okay, this happened. Now what can I do? Go through it. Make sure you understand what happened. Make sure you go through the emotional stuff, which raised that that experience. And then afterwards, let go. Let go of the feeling that doesn't serve you anymore. And we can only make sure to change that while we start the awareness on the focus to manage it to go differently. Because what we used to do is everything we did before was just an autopilot. Because the brain is wired that if you don't say something, if you don't react, then it's just going on autopilot. And you will follow the patterns over and over again until you start to realize that you can change and you can actually do something about it. And how you do it is you make sure that you are aware of it. That's the first. Number 2 is go into the fear. Make sure you understand why it makes you angry, why it makes you so scared, why it made you closing your heart, as example, why it made you like not to trust anyone. After that, go in again and make sure to let go. Use a meditation, use a letter, write a journal, write it down, why you want to let it go. You need a why. The third point is you need a why you want to let go. And the third is let go of the past, because this pattern isn't serving you anymore. It's not serving you anymore to judge. It's not serving you anymore to stay there and be angry. Your energy flows to something that is in the past that you cannot change. And letting go means you take back your own power. Take it back. Because at the moment you cannot start fresh, because your energy is over there. And with that said, we are on the end of this video. It was a pleasure to be here with you. I hope this is gonna help you at some extent. As I mentioned, take what works for you, leave the rest behind, but keep in mind that if you're not taking everything, that it might be also because you're not ready to hear it. And in that case, maybe you just come back another time, and that's fine. If you are looking for a one-on-one coaching, please find all the details below. There is even my website, so you can check out a bit further. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, so you get all the updates for new videos, which are Mondays and Thursdays, 6 a.m. CET usually. And until then, see you next time. Ciao.